Hey there, this is Michael. Thanks for joining me. This is video number 4 in the Courageous Leadership series on conflict resolution. Today's video is called Resolving Conflict with Boundaries. We're going to be utilizing information from the book Good Boundaries and Goodbye by Lysa Terkeurst. This book was very instrumental in my personal success in dealing with different situations in my life, and I just want to pass along what I have learned. All right, you ready? Let's go. All right, so in order to effectively resolve conflicts, there's some different components that we need to look at. Number one, we're going to have to look at boundaries. Number two, we're going to be looking at constructive confrontation. And number three, we're going to actually look at different steps that can be taken for resolution. The purpose of this video is to go over step one, boundaries. So, boundaries are really important for us. And again, just as a reminder, this information is coming from Good Boundaries and Goodbyes by Lysa Terkeurst. This is not my words. This is not my information. This is something that I have found very helpful. So just got to understand that not having boundaries fuel anxiety, which is a part of the tension and stress mentioned earlier in a previous video as a cause for conflict. Boundaries aren't meant to be weaponized. They are meant to be used to prioritize keeping relationships safe. And you have to understand that you cannot change the other party. All right, let's take a break. Let's talk about a real world example here. My journey as a leader, I have had so much conflict with my bosses, with my leadership, with my team, because I tried to control others. I tried to change others. And while my intentions were good, I've had to realize I can't change anybody. I can have influence, but I cannot force anybody to change, and I've had to come to a place of accepting that, people are going to choose to do whatever they want to do. Just as I have the freedom to choose whatever I want to choose, I have to give that very same freedom to others. And so when it comes to work, I've had to realize that just because you're making a choice that I don't agree with doesn't mean that I look at you any differently or treat you any differently, and that I'm frustrated and I'm angry and I'm mad at you and I just wish you would just do what I said. But the thing is that I can't be that way. That doesn't do anybody any good. If I give you the freedom to make the choice for yourself, as long as it doesn't affect me personally, you are going to be the one that has to deal with the consequence of your actions, whether good or bad. So once I set up that boundary of not trying to change others and just accepting others, who they are and where they are, that's when my leadership took a turn for the positive with my team and with my leadership. All right, let's get back to it. Okay, now that we're back, we're talking about boundaries. You have to understand that boundaries are meant to protect you, not to force someone else to change. Remember, we just got done talking about we can't force someone else to change. We could try to have influence, but we can't force someone else to change. We have to understand also that others' opinions of us do not define who we are. We have to learn what defines us, and we have to live it out. For myself as a Christian, the Bible and God is what defines me as a man and as a leader. In her book, Good Boundaries and Goodbyes, Lysa Terkeurst says this: boundaries help me to stay true to who I really am. Without boundaries, I can hyperextend myself to the point where I become anxious, bitter, resentful, angry, annoyed, and distant. That's not who I really am. So it's my responsibility not to let another person's actions and expectations wear me down to the worst version of myself. So, what are some examples of healthy boundaries? Well, for starters, no raising of voices, talking in a conversational tone. Again, this is a conversation, not a debate. I am not trying to prove to you that you're wrong and I'm right. And you're not trying to prove to me that you're right and I'm wrong. It's a conversation with respectful dialogue back and forth. Speak only for yourself. Use I statements. Don't point the finger at somebody else. Don't pin the blame on somebody else or do anything. Just, I feel this way. I would like to see this. Use I statements. Confront the issues, not the people. Leave the emotion out of it. Do not attack the person directly. Confront the issue itself. And lastly, strive for collaboration. Without getting buy-in from those that you are leading, you will not get a good result. You want to have collaboration. Everybody wants to feel that they have a voice and they've been heard. And if everybody has an active participation in resolving the conflict, the result will tend to be better.